Hi guys, welcome back to the Bearded Broskies. I'm Chris. This is Mike. We just finished watching season 7, episode 1 of Game of Thrones, and we're going to review it for you. So, what do we start with?
Yeah, really cool scene right off the bat. We're at House Frey at the Twins. We see Walder Frey's gathered all the family there. He looks like he's having a feast. You thought maybe it was a flashback.
Yeah, at first I thought they were flashing back to maybe like Walder got everyone together when they were plotting to kill Robb. But then soon you find out that no, it is Arya wearing Walder Frey's skin.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, really cool. He's toasting everyone. Good job. Killed all our enemies. Blah blah
mhm.
blah blah blah. Starts handing out wine to everyone, and wine's poisoned, and everyone dies. And it's
Yeah.
so cool.
It's just sweet. And Arya takes face mask off, and she's just like tells Walder's young, like 12-year-old wife, if anyone asks what happened here, just say, winter came for House Frey,
And the North
and the
remembers.
North remembers. It was a sweet way to start off the season, and I was just like, Arya's a boss,
Yeah.
badass. They picked it up from there, and we go up north to Jon Snow, and he's having a powwow with his northern lords.
Yeah, trying to set
And
up, what their plans kind of are going to be. They know there's a threat, obviously coming from the north, from the wall. But we got a quick scene of Bran coming to the wall as
oh
well.
yeah, yeah, we missed out of it.
He shows up at the wall with
Mira.
Mira, and says obviously who they are, and they bring them inside to the other side of the wall. So we got a little bit from them, not
A little
much, but
sneak peek of Bran, but that's about all they give you this episode.
yeah,
So back to John. So they're discussing, where they're going to put troops, the fact that they need to train everyone from the age of 10 to 60, men, women, child, everybody's got to come together to fight for the North.
yeah,
John saying, we can't have half the population trying to fight off the White Walkers. Sansa, is trying to punish the House Umbar, House Karstark that they sided with Ramsay Bolton,
yeah.
and she wants John to strip those houses from the remaining family members. But John didn't want to punish the whole family for the acts of just a few sons. So he actually reinstates different family members, the younger siblings, to those houses and makes them swear fealty to him.
Yeah, and you kind of get a look from John at one point. And they have another scene as well where they're walking along the battlements talking, and it's kind of like, well, you had your chance. You could have been the Lady of Winterfell, but you decided you wanted me to be in charge. So now you're undermining me in front of
Yeah,
all our bannermen, and it's like, well, do you want me to lead or not?
yeah,
Kind of thing.
John's getting pissed off at Sansa, but I mean, I can see where Sansa's coming from because she sees John as her like her father and like Robb, and she makes a comment on how I love father, I loved Robb, but I mean, they both made stupid mistakes, and that's why they're dead. So she's like, I want you to be smarter than they were, and I guess since she lived with Cersei, she knows how like cunning people can be,
Yeah,
and like obviously she lived with Ramsay, she knows like these people just think they're not honorable people,
yeah.
they're not gonna, go that route. And John's trying to be all honorable again, like the rest of the family,
Trying to
and
be like his dad.
he might end up dead because of it. So she's doing it in a wrong way. She's doing it publicly,
Yeah,
which is like publicly like fighting with him, which is never good in front of the
yeah. That's your
big
king of the
houses.
north, and now you're kind of
Yeah.
taking him down a peg in front of his bannermen that have decided to follow with him. So
Well,
yeah,
especially an old proud house. Like northern
exactly.
houses are like they're not like southern people. They're more gruff. They're more traditional, and like to
Yeah,
see like their king be like talked down to by a sister, is
yeah,
probably a big no-no for them, right? And gives him less credibility to how he rules.
yeah.
Yeah, we pick up with Cersei down in King's Landing. She's painted the entire courtyard as a big map of Westeros, and Jaime comes in. He's pissed off at her as normal, and she's explaining, what's our battle plan here, kind of thing. And Jaime's like, well, I don't know. You didn't leave me with any allies. You blew everybody up, so now. And she's basically like, fix my problems, basically.
Yeah, she
She's like,
wants Jamie to just solve all the problems,
yeah,
make it go away. You're the head of the Lannister Guard. Fix
yeah.
this.
So he's like, well,
Well,
Well, he
you,
goes,
you took
well,
away the north. You took away the west. We got enemies there. You took away the east and the south.
he's like, well, winter's here and we got to feed an army. He goes, oh, hey, the Tyrells have grain. Nope, they don't like us no more. The Tyrells have all the cattle. Nope, I don't think they're going to give us any. Then he's like, oh, well, you pissed off the south with the Dornish women, so the Dornish women are coming after us, and the
Yeah,
north just hates us, like.
yeah,
So basically, but she's done. She's just like, fix it. Basically, she's just like, fix it. So her way of fixing it is she has made an alliance with Euron Greyjoy. He comes to King's Landing and offers her obviously a wedding pact, which she turns him down. He promises her though that he will bring her a wedding present. So I'm assuming he's basically saying, I think he's insinuating he's going to bring her Tyrion's head.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because she's gotten word that Tyrion is now Daenerys' hand of the king, and she kind of rubs that in Jaime's face that, because Jaime let him go and led to his father being killed, and she still thinks Tyrion murdered Joffrey, which he didn't. It was Olenna Tyrell and Peter Baelish.
Yeah.
So, but she's still blaming that on him. So we kind of leave Cersei. She's now got the Iron Fleet behind her, but that's pretty much all they've got. Like they probably got like 10,000 Lannister soldiers who hate them, and a fleet of untrustworthy Ironborn who are going to murder her as soon as they can.
Yeah, as soon as Euron gets a chance, he's just going to betray her. So.
Yeah, pretty much. So we get a look at what Sam's doing. Sam's down at the Citadel, and all he's doing is cleaning up shit.
Cleaning chamber pots, pouring food, putting books away. It's a really funny scene,
funny
actually.
they're
cracking up.
Quick clips, and it's like as soon as he's like emptying like the bedpans, and then he's pouring the food, it all looks the same. It looks like shit in the bedpan.
You don't know what's what
food.
anymore.
Yeah. So he's basically just being a novice, doing the bitch work. So we leave Sam. He's stolen the Maester's keys. He's kind of broken into the unrestricted part of the library because he's really down there to try to find out the best way to fight the White Walkers.
Wants to find out more about the Dragon Glass. They know that's the easiest way to kill a White Walker.
Yeah,
that and fire. So that's what he's there for.
And he finds out that like basically under Dragonstone is like a mountain of obsidian, which is what they make the Dragon Glass from.
Yeah.
And he remembers because Stannis told him in season 5. Yep, 5. That Dragonstone was full of dragon glass, and he's like, "Oh, well, why didn't I tell Jon then?" So he's writing a letter to send to Jon through Raven, and that's kind of how we leave Sam. The last thing to touch on would be, the Hound. Oh yes, the Hound is with Beric Dondarrion and Thoros of Myr. They actually come across the same house, if you remember from season 4, where him and Arya stopped by, and the nice farmer's man and his daughter made them rabbit stew. Well, it turns out now that they've actually died of starvation, probably because the Hound robbed them of all their silver and they couldn't afford to buy food anymore.
Yeah.
So they've died. He feels really guilty about it. The Hound's just funny. What can I say? Like, he's just funny. The way he's ripping on Thoros, he's ripping on Beric. But then by the end of the episode, Thoros actually gets him to stare into the fires, and he sees the undead army walking on the wall.
Yeah.
So that kind of motivates him to like, this Lord of Light stuff isn't like he knows Beric came back to life, but he's still he's not religious.
Still obviously a non-believer. He just thinks it's a bunch of hooey and stuff. So, he's finally starting to buy in a bit. So that could be interesting.
He's drinking the Kool-Aid at this point.
Yeah.
He's a believer.
Yeah. I mean, basically, our biggest moment for most people, I frankly don't really care so much about her, even though I'm wearing the shirt. Daenerys finally lands in Westeros. She finally gets to where she's wanted to go this whole time. 6 seasons it took her, but she's finally there.
So she's landed on Dragonstone, and apparently Stannis has abandoned the entire castle in the book. It's not quite that in the book.
Stannis is dead, but
but in the book
all his people are just gone.
Leaves a reserve there. He leaves like 500 men there to hold the castle, right?
Yeah,
but
they're just gone.
Anyway, in the show, it's completely abandoned, so they just like push the door open, and they're like, "Hi, I'm home."
Yeah.
So basically, she rips down Stannis' banner, and then she traces her hand across the table that you probably saw in the trailer. And then episode ends with her looking over at Tyrion going, "So shall we begin?" And then it cuts to black. So I think that was a fantastic first episode for the series. I can't wait for the last 6 episodes that we're going to see here. Week after week's just going to be painful waiting for it. But I think they started awesome.
Yep.
I think Arya was the big show front for this episode. She's just being a big badass,
Yeah, she has another moment as well. We didn't quite touch on.
Oh, she had a small moment with some Lannister soldiers, and they get all friendly with her, and then they're like, "Oh, where are you heading?" She's like, "Oh, I'm going to King's Landing to kill the Queen." And they're all like, "Oh, ha, ha, ha."
I'm sure you are.
She's like, "Yeah, okay, just pass the rabbit in your ale. That's what I'm really going to do."
Yeah, don't mess with me.
It's pretty solid episode, like just awesome. It's glad to see. It's like been a long year waiting for the new season to come out.
It always is.
The teaser trailers have been just firing me up for it especially. So, I mean, it was like kid in a candy store tonight.
Yeah.
So, overall, great episode. Make sure you tune in. We'll be doing another video next week for the episode 2.
Yep. Every week we'll do a video after each episode. So probably up Monday mornings. Check it out.
Yeah, I'll be getting up as fast as I can. So we're Bearded Broskies. I'm Chris. This is Mike, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers, guys.